Oh, good morning. It is Friday. I have my little device in front of me that I'm hoping is going to follow me around. It was kind of acting a little cattywampus this morning. I have so many things to tell you, and it has been a week. I, though, have made some wonderful, wonderful connections this week. Get a little situated here. Trying to promote my painting classes. Let's see if this thing follows me if I get up. And don't mind me, I'm all comfortable. It's Friday. The weather is crap again in St. Louis, and I'm about to lose my mind with the cold and the rain. But I want to get one of my paintings, so bear with me. Like I said, I have a lot to say today. But how are you? How's your week been? You know, I have my office, my desk, my computer, everything. I got my printer going. It has been a tumultuous kind of getting things rolling. Hold on. But promoting painting classes. Painting, promoting. Painting, promoting, painting. I need color in my life. And this is one of the classes that I teach. The class is $45. I bring all the supplies, and I possibly have a new location, which I will be teaching at. More on that later. But this is one of the paintings. And because it's been so dark and dreary, and I'm longing for the beach, I have that up there as my inspiration. And this thing, there we go. It's like once it loses your focus or your face, it no longer works. But I am Kitryn Marie. I reside in St. Louis, Missouri. I am an artist, a writer, a speaker, a life and a business coach. Teach a variety of art classes. I have my most favorite vision board up there on content creating, putting together the life that you feel that you are entitled to living. It's more than just a dream board. It's about where you see your goals heading and where you want to see your end result and what the big picture really, really looks like. So where have I been? What have I been doing? A lot. Let's talk a little bit about the restaurant industry. Hold on. Ooh, that's hot. Where are all the people? What are people doing? Where are they going? What are they doing with their money? This week in my outside gig, I think maybe one day it was a profitable day. One day. I don't know what people are doing or what they can afford or what they can't afford or if it's taxes. I've always said in the restaurant industry, there is no rhyme or reason to how business works. Typically, when food sales is up, liquor sales are down, and you always want to have merchandise that you can try to even it out. Then when liquor sales come up, food sales go down. It has always been like that. Right now, from what I am seeing across the board, there's not a lot of business. The stock markets have plummeted, which I say, hold tight. Don't lose your shit over it. There's a rhyme and a reason to what the Donald is doing, and everybody just has to have some faith and trust that he knows what he's doing, because us regular people, we don't. And you can see it in your outside circumference of people who have lost their mind or no common sense or don't know what to think or how the economy is playing into everybody's pocketbook, which leads me back to that's why I'm thinking there's not a lot of business right now in the restaurant industry. But because of my marketing background, because as an artist a business coach who has mentored women who want to take their side hustles and make a little money at it. I have been putting together, what do I want to call it? Not synopsis, not syllabus, pretty much an outline of where I feel business should be headed. In terms of getting outside of this small St. Louis box and looking beyond what our borders are. And I like to think, my personal opinion, you don't have to agree with me, but when you have a product, you have a service, you need to go outside of your area. You need to allow people to see who you are, what you can offer, and entice them to come back to what your hub is. Now, because I work for a craft brewery, I had asked, and I'm always asking questions in the last couple weeks. I'm sure the higher ups are like tired of hearing from me. And I'm either on the floor or I'm behind the bar or I'm in the kitchen or I'm doing a banquet, a private party is what they call for their banquets. But I'm always asking questions, and I am looking at everything from a peripheral business point of view. So I say to our brewery salesman, I say to him, why are we not doing festivals? Now, as the artist, the person who has been the vendor, whatever you pay for your booth, it is pretty much rule of thumb. You make 7 to 10 times in revenue what you pay for your booth, minus paying your employees if you have employees there. I say to him, as I put this proposal together to our events manager, which I know he's tired of hearing from me because I'm like, hey, I got this idea. What do you think? And I'm sure he rolls his eyes and laughs, but I am thinking in business terms because those of us that are working the restaurant floor, we're sinking, and we're sinking quick. So I say we have all these festivals in our outside area. Why are we not attending these festivals? Why are we not offering merchandise, product, let them know what we're capable of doing, get them to taste what the product is, let them see what experience they will have when they come to us. Now, besides just the restaurant industry, and pardon that I talk with my hands, it's an Italian thing, it could be for any service or product that you have. If you are not investing not only in yourself, but in your merchandise and in your product and in your service, you cannot expect the people in your area, because the area most likely is saturated and it is devastated by economics. So here in St. Louis County, and where our brewery sits, which is right at the border of city, county, I say, which I think is a common sense thing. Anybody who does marketing, anybody who knows what it's like having to go outside of your territory to get attention, I say, why are we not hitting these small towns? We have, which really aren't small towns, it's just smaller than St. Louis, but I say, why are we not going to Sullivan? Why are we not going to Union, St. Clair? Why are we not participating in New Haven or Herman or Washington, Missouri's festivals? Why do we not have some type of presence there? Now, you can take your business, your service, your product, and you can do the same thing. Remember, you are the face of your company. You are the face representing what your product or service is. And you need to be willing to invest and take the risk. Now, from a tax point of view, and if you already have a company that is declining, you need to invest and understand it takes money to make money. But once you get your foot in the door and somebody sees who you are, what you have to offer, it makes it makes it a whole lot easier for people to reach out and say, hey, I saw you. We would like to learn a little bit more about you. Can we partner with you? Can we collab with you? What can we do to help you, to help us? And I think right now with all businesses that are struggling, understanding on the tax side, even if it fails, you have a huge write-off. And I think right now, people who are having to pay taxes, I made $2,000 less this last year than I did the year before, and I owed on taxes this past year, which is unheard of. I have never in my adult life of working have had to pay taxes, especially on less. Hold on. So as I have been formulating and trying to bring these matters to whomever is in front of me, because like I said, I know they are sick of listening to me. And our director, God love him, he listens, and I see his mind thinking, and then it's adding one more thing on his plate because your higher up still has to answer to another higher up. And when there is not enough revenue coming in, it causes havoc across the board. And that is in any industry. That's just not the restaurant industry. But that's where I have been. That is where my head is. And I have always said, just because I don't have an office to go into, do not think I do not understand logistics and economics and understanding how business works in the corporate world. I just chose not to go that route. Other thing, some of these restaurants are still very, I got a frog in my throat. Some of these restaurants are still very short-handed. When you are dining out, whether it be breakfast, lunch, or dinner, common courtesy. Look around. You know you're hungry. You know you want to eat. You know you want something really good. Don't take your bad mood, your bad attitude out on your server or your bartender. Common courtesy. If you are brought something and you don't like it, kindly bring that matter to your server, your bartender's attention. Don't wait till you completely ate it, drank it, and then feel you have the audacity to complain about it. Now that has been going on since restaurants began. But right now, everybody seems to be a little bit more on edge, feeling they are entitled to that specialty type service, which as a server, a bartender, a banquet host, whatever you want to call my outside gig, its title, when you are dining out, have a little common courtesy and be polite and be kind and look at your surrounding. Look at your other tables. Look at really who's on staff, who is there, and what job are they doing, busting their rear to make sure that you get the experience that you had come in to far. And if something is wrong when they bring you your plate, they give you your food, kindly just let your server know at that time. Don't wait to the very end. And please, by all means, at the end of the night, after you've gone through your day, call the manager and complain. That's just not nice. It is not. So those are things that I really, really wanted to address in my outside gig. I love my outside gig. I love the people that I come in contact with. Not so much just the customers, but, my counterparts that I am working with, or my managers, or my directors, or my sales team, or whomever it is that I am reaching out to, giving them the plethora of ideas that I have in my head, because I need to earn an income, I need to make a living, and I know it's what I'm really, really good at. So outside of that outside gig, what have I been working on here in my little shoebox of a studio? I bought a new vehicle last week. Love the vehicle, but when I put my foot on the brake, and I only noticed this 24 hours after I had it, because I was going out to my pony, which is a distance, but when I start to drive the vehicle and I'm going over 40 miles an hour, the vehicle starts to shake a little bit. And when I put my foot on the brake, it's not rotors, you see the engine vibrating. I'm guessing it is the motor mounts. Now, mind you, the car does have a few miles on it, so I reached back out to my salesman, and he said, well, let's get it in, and then we can kind of go from there. So here's the funny thing about all that. There are some things I should not know about cars. I always say, as a female, I don't want to know car mechanics. I don't want to do snow removal. And the only reason I do my lawn and take care of my garden is because that is my therapy, dirt therapy. So I'm talking to the serviceman, and he said, well, explain to me what's going on, which I just explained to you. And I say to him, I need you to check the motor mounts. And he says, no, why would you come up with that? I said, because it's not the rotors. I said, when I put my foot on the brake, it's not that kind of a shake. And then you can see the vehicle I have, you can see directly through the wheel hub that the rotors are brand new. The brakes are wonderful. The car stops on a dime. Even drives, extremely smooth. But you can tell certain things are going up because of the miles. And I'm at that point, as soon as the weather breaks, I am out of here. I am gone. I am tired of just being in my home, and I'm tired of just going to my outside gig. I have a whole business that I am putting back together, and I need my vehicle to go. So as I'm talking to the sales service guy, and he said, well, you're probably right. He said, but it wouldn't have passed inspection. And I said, yeah, but it's also one of those things that somebody would have looked at it and said, yeah, it's okay. It'll go for right now. And because possibly the vehicle sat on a lot and nobody drove it, nobody would know unless you drove it a distance or went over 40 miles an hour. So I've been dealing with that. And I say to the service guy and my salesperson, I swear I have developed a post-traumatic stress disorder from this whole car nonsense. And they're like, we'll figure it out. Don't get ahead of yourself. But if you know me, you know that's what I do. I have to plan. I have to be prepared. I have to be, active on the situation, because it's one of those, if it's not paid attention to, it only gets worse down the line. Which then leads me into, I can't find my title for my old car because I need to get my old car out of the driveway. I need to get the truck back to my kids, and they have been surrounded by floodwaters, which then brings me to my basement flooded last week. Right now I've got fairly 1/4 of an inch of water standing in the basement. I've got windows open. I got a fan going. I've poured bleach on everything. I'm over the house. It didn't leak or flood from the outside. We had gotten so much rain, and the creek is about 200 yards from the back of my house. It came up from the foundation. There's like a hairline fracture across my basement floor, and with all that water and no place to go, it just kind of bubbled up like my own personal little babbling creek. So I've been kind of dealing with that. When I'm home from work, I've been out to my pony maybe twice since I've gotten the new vehicle, which I plan to go out there today if the rain doesn't come. She's good. She looks beautiful. She's ready to have the saddle put back on her where I can ride. But I can't do all that till everything is completely dry. So thinking about that. Started writing again. I'm back on my blog, not as often as I was, but I'm leading into that because I'm working 6 days a week, sometimes doing a double shift, and when I am home, it is enough. I am just mind spent. But my blog, Pretty in Pink, Perfect in Paisley. I have been writing actually 2 books over the last 10 years. When He Had Her was the first one that a publisher kind of approached me on, and it has never really come to fruition, and I am working diligently on trying to get those 12 chapters put together, and then I'll figure out where I'm doing it once the book is formatted. Seaside Shore was something I have always had in the back of my mind, Has nothing to do with the first book. The first book, the main character, he is not a good human at all. He is deceptive, he's a thief, he's a con man, where the second book, in Seaside Shore, he's just a cloud of a storm that is so confused on life but has a huge, huge heart. Needless to say, the first one is based basically in a city, where the second one is on a coast. But I'm going to read because what each of the books are about, because I'm hoping you will go over to Pretty in Pink, Perfect in Paisley, Imperfections Made Beautiful.blogspot.com to start to read the snippets on this book. When He Had Her. Tagline: not every love story ends with a lesson, some leave scars. He was a master of charm, a self-defeating con man who played the role of savior while secretly bleeding every woman dry to mend the wounds his mother left behind. When He Had Her isn't just a love story, it's a psychological unraveling of manipulation disguised as romance. She loved with her soul, he loved with his needs. Head on over to the blog to see the snippets on that one. Seaside Shore, where the waves whisper what the heart has buried. In a coastal town that hides more than seashells and secrets, Seaside Shore follows a woman escaping her past, only to find it staring back at her with ocean eyes. It's about finding yourself in the quiet where salt water and second chances collide, a tale of healing heartache and homecomings. So stay tuned for both of those. I don't know when I will get around to finishing them, but they are just delightful to work on because these characters that I have in my mind, they are coming to life. And I promise you, I will end up making money on both of the stories. And those that ever doubted me, they will be shaking their head going, oh my God, there's more up here than most even realize. What else have I been working on? Like I said, just because I'm home and a mind spent, do not think that I am not applying the gift, the talent to putting everything together, because I don't want to work 6 days a week anymore, and I don't want to work double shifts. Not at this point in life. Still working with the gourmet cupboard, meal prep, taking the guesswork out of what spices and what ingredients you need to, make your meals good for your family, affordable. When you go to the grocery store, it's all you have to do is buy your meat, buy your milk, buy your butter. The gourmet cupboard literally provides all of the extra ingredients that you need. And it's delicious, and it feeds a family of 4 to 6, depending on what it is that you are buying. What else am I working on? Met this week Serendipity Chances. There is no such thing as a coincidence, and I have always said every person you ever need is a third person away. Ran into a gentleman and a lady, Josh and Sarah. They happened to come into the restaurant, and I can make friends with anybody and everybody. Sarah is a manager at Urban Breath Yoga, and her and I talked a little bit about me teaching a few classes there. Josh, who has a graphics and marketing company, Solarium Productions, he talked a little bit about he is trying to put together stlouisartist.com, asked to see a couple of my paintings so he could photograph it to get some prints into the website that they are putting together. I am hoping and praying that is the segue into me teaching again. I will be teaching vision board classes based in, trying to get this thing to follow me, based in psychology and life coaching. It is an art enrichment class that allows you to see character, behavior, and awareness, putting yourself in check for why and how you have chosen the way that you have. The class is $65. I would like a minimum of 10 in the class. Class needs to be prepaid 4 days prior to the class. You provide the materials. The painting class, It is theme-based. Follow me over here, little machine thing. It is theme-based. You pick your theme. I bring the supplies. I provide the supplies for you. It's $45. It's based in perception, perspective, moving the paints around, choosing your own colors, understanding why you stop being creative. It's about the eye, hand, mind coordination. It's about imagery. It's about seeing the shape and turning it into something on a very creative level, allowing you to be your own Picasso if you choose. Been working on that. What else? Collaborations and partnerships, not only, with the Gourmet Cupboard, and I have a couple other things that I've got lined up that I'm waiting to hear back on, but does everybody remember Bain de Soleil, the orange jelly tanning gel? It was beautiful, smelt wonderful, made you feel like you were in the tropics. When I was a kid, my girlfriend Barb, who lived at the mansion house, we swam up on the rooftop pool. Barb was affluent. Barb's mom and her aunts showered her with all the best and the greatest of everything. And that was the first time I ever learned about Bain de Soleil. Well, Bain de Soleil went out of business, and the vacation company kind of took over. And they have cornered the market now on all sunbathing items. I reached out to them, and they were very, very gracious to send me their whipped classic 30 SPF. I always get the initials wrong. So if you are interested in checking them out, go over to vacation.com. You can find them on Instagram. What else did they send me? I mean, it's really been fun to reach out to these little companies, and they're not so little companies, they're big companies. I'm waiting to hear from a couple cosmetic companies. So, and my thing here is saying, where's your face? Here I am. There, now it'll work. It loses its traction. It's kind of weird. But anyway, they sent me a car diffuser, air freshener, and what else? They sent me, which I will do when I get off the video, a little scratch off lottery for another free product. So check them out, the Vacation. And they were out of the Bain de Soleil, which they have rebranded and named new. But anyway, that's what I have been working on. So when you do not see me during the week, I have so many things going on behind the scenes that it is just really, really crazy. But I hope wherever you are, I hope whatever you are doing, I hope whatever the weather is happening. It's just like I need sun, I need a tan, I need my fishing pole in my hand, I need to get those neon green night crawlers that you get at the bait and tackle up on Chain of Rocks, which I won't go to. I'll have to have somebody pick some up for me. But I can't wait for warmer weather. I can't wait to get my classes all rolling again. I can't wait to see your face in our craft brewery here in Maplewood, Missouri. You know, we do offer free samples of the beer. Come in, look to see what we have seasonal, what we have as our regulars at Schlafly. Feel free to visit schlafly.com to look to see both of our restaurants. You'll see me flitting around, doing something, talking somebody to death or force feeding them. That's a mouthful, and here I've been on now a half hour. Need to get myself together and get myself out the door. Again, I am Kitryn Marie. I am an artist, a writer, a speaker, a life and a business coach. Teach a variety of art classes, promote a variety of products, looking for more collabs and partnerships. If you have a business and you were looking for a goodie bag from the craft brewery I work at, I'd be more than happy to bring something to you with menus. Would love to have your business in our restaurant in Maplewood. We are always looking for new faces, new people that we can call friends, and someplace that you can go where everybody knows your name. And I know that's very cliche. But, fate turns on a dime. You decide what side of the coin you want to be on. Be happy, be blessed, be thankful for everything. Reach out, Kitryn_Marie at yahoo.com. Go over to my blog, imperfectionsmadebeautiful.blogspot.com. Take care. Stay warm, stay dry. Wish for sun. All things good to you. See you soon. Bye.